Have you ever noticed that 80% of what you fear doesn't even happen in the first place? And I am at the place in my life where I can't afford to be held back by fear. If I have a desire and a goal, and if the only thing standing between me and that desire is fear, then call me a bulldozer because I'm knocking fear down. I feel like if God created us with such intentions, then who are we to neglect um, his efforts? Like, who are we to idolize fear? One of the scriptures that is most known for confronting fear, I think, is Deuteronomy 31:6. And it says, "Be strong in the Lord and be of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid." You know that scripture. But as I began to actually look at that scripture recently, I noticed that the word for courage was to make strong, to be alert, to be established, to be fortified. And all of that helped me to understand that being courageous is a process. Like, it's something that takes time. And there's a divine type of courage that we have to pull on. And divine courage is a virtue that has to be unlocked. It just has to be unlocked, right? How do you unlock this divine kind of courage? The God kind of courage that is necessary to do the things that God has commissioned you to do. One of the things that I'm learning is that it's through scripture. Scripture is what will help us unlock this divine courage. It's almost like we have to look at scripture as being a key to unlock this God kind of courage. I don't know anyone that wants to be controlled by fear. Honestly, I've been evaluating my own life, and I feel like sometimes we don't understand that fear is sometimes a learned behavior. Like, we see fear play itself out in other people's lives. I saw fear play out in someone else's life, so then I saw fear play out in mine. And my desire is, I don't want the generations behind me to be stuck because I didn't overcome fear. And even if you don't want to go as far as to say that fear is a learned behavior, we can all agree that in some cases we do not see fear taught. We hear to not be fearful, but how do you put aside fear? How do you overcome fear? What is the process? What does it look like? And so, again, I say scripture. The more that we delve into scripture, the more that we look at scripture, sometimes I don't think we look at the benefit of scripture, nor do we reverence it enough to allow it to teach us what we need to know and how to overcome certain obstacles. So 2 Timothy is a scripture that I've been looking at to help me overcome my own fear. And it's 2 Timothy 1:7. It says, "God didn't give a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind." When I looked at the word fear in that scripture, it meant timidity. It meant fearfulness, and cowardice. And so when I think about those words, and when I think about what the spirit of fear does, it makes us shrink in moments where we should stand tall. You know, it makes us not move forward when we should be progressing. Sometimes I think we are fearful of the outcome when we shouldn't be. Why? Because the Bible already says that God is victorious, meaning anything attached to God is going to win. And I think sometimes we're afraid of what the process will be, even though God gives us a glimpse of our winning. You know, whenever God gives you a vision, or whenever he puts something in you, when he puts a desire in you, you're already able to see the outcome of it, lest you would not have thought of it. But I think we're more fearful of the process and the possibility of failure than we are of the win. So my desire is that we will understand more and more how God has given us that spirit of power, how he's given us the spirit of love and of a sound mind. And when we have the revelation that God did not give us the spirit of fear, when we really have the revelation that it didn't come from God, that spirit of fear that you have didn't come from him, then you really are able to tap into who did give it to you and how to get rid of it, right? When we really understand that God didn't give it, then we can return to sender. Stay up.